Hello, my wisdomers. How are we? I'm back today, and I thought I'd just do do a podcast at the moment now. At the moment, with current affairs in the world that we have, this, Twitter buyout has just been. I don't know what's going on. Why is this Twitter buyout taking so long to buy Twitter? What's happened? I feel that there is a bit of politics going on. At the moment, with this Twitter buyout and these current affairs in this world that we have right now. And it's like, well, is this deal going through or not? Or do we still have to wait at the moment? It's it's quite interesting with the politics involved, in this deal with Elon Musk. If he can get a 25% discount off Twitter, which I hope so he does, and to, create a place for us Republicans to hang out and talk our conservative media, which we deserve and have a right to do, not left-wing media that's poisoning people's minds and making life hard and difficult at the moment for ourselves. That. Alright, so the weather for today, it's going to be 12 degrees Celsius, sunny, partly cloudy as well. Basically, please hope, some rain predicted, a top of 18 degrees Celsius and a low of 9 degrees Celsius. And, precipitation 8%, humidity 94%, wind 8 kilometers an hour, 54 degrees Fahrenheit, and a top of 64 degrees Fahrenheit and a low of 49 degrees Fahrenheit. Precipitation 8%, humidity 94%, wind 5 miles per hour. For today's weather forecast, as you know that I am heavily interested in the weather, and I can see that we've got our first guest waiting. Let's see how we go. Hello, Malcolm.
What up, dude? What's going on?
Nothing much. How are ya?
I'm all right. Wait, first and foremost, can you hear me? Just doing a brief sound check. I'm using the Bluetooth in my car.
Yeah, sounds good.
Love it. I love the
Sounds
quality.
really good.
Great. First and foremost, before we delve into your topic, how have you been, man? What's been new?
Well, I got kicked off Mastodon. Someone falsely accused me of spam, and I was angry. I was crying.
Spam.
Yeah, because I put a post and they kicked me off, and I keep sending Mastodon customer service an email, and they won't let me back on.
So was it
So
a
that's what
controversial
happened.
post?
No, I was just promoting my Rumble channel.
Wow, someone must really be gunning for you.
So I don't know what should I do, Malcolm? How do I overcome this problem?
Well, if the social media platform that you're using is not really doing anything to take any action, I would just chalk it up and just say forget about them and go with another platform that will allow you to do it. Because, like what you're talking about with them censoring free speech, or just in general, some of these media platforms that literally have a whole team designed to monetize what people talk about, or not to monetize, but to monitor what people talk about and the substance of the content that they put out there as well. So, if this platform is not really willing to work with you, and you're facing a
Mhm.
lot of apprehension, I would say forget about them. Screw them.
Yeah, I submitted an appeal on the 1st of May, and today's the 25th of May. Yeah, screw 'em.
Yeah, dude,
That's a
that's not
shame.
worth it. Not worth the trouble.
Exactly. Have you heard of Donald Trump's Truth Social? Has that come out in the US yet?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's come out in the US. Actually, I made an account. I made an account to see what it's all about, and I'm not posting or anything on it. I'm just honestly using it just to look at it, monitor Trump's posts in addition to other people's posts and see what the environment is like because I'm kind of curious. So I basically made an account out of curiosity.
Because it's not available in Australia yet.
Ooh, I wonder why.
I don't know. I think they're still trying to get it out here. Because I'd like to get on Truth Social if I can. Because this Elon Musk buyout's just taken too long with Twitter.
You know why it's
Um,
happening though, right?
is it happening?
I said, you know why it's being delayed, why Elon's getting cold feet, right?
Why?
Oh, okay. Well, there's a number of things to begin with. First, I'll start off with saying less than 5% of accounts on Twitter are bots. So there's been a bot
Yeah.
probe going into that, right? And then in addition to
Yeah,
that, you have. I'm sorry if you hear that noise. Do you hear that noise?
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So I've been hearing a whole bunch of bot probes in addition to the fact that they're they're in $13 billion worth of debt. So now that already lowers the price for the original bid offer, which was $44 billion.
Mm,
Now, in addition to that, he doesn't feel as though it's just his ability to make a transaction is justified because the co-founder, the CEO, is not really compliant with him in
hmm
terms of in terms of communication. So, I mean, if I were a billionaire trying to acquire a social media company and the CEO is not really talking to me, I would also get cold feet. Like, dude, I'm trying to establish a deal here, and you're starting BS, or you're not willing to work with me to figure out a consensus on a better bid price for this company. You didn't tell me that had debt. Like, I would take off $13 billion off the table and lower it down to like 28 billion. Huh. How about that?
mm. Well, yeah, I think they're just playing politics with Elon Musk.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
that too.
the deal will go through. Elon Musk is a billionaire. He could even create his own Twitter if he wanted to, for the
He could.
conservatives,
He could.
like Donald
Um,
Trump. Could you send me the Truth Social through my Instagram?
yeah, sure, sure. When I'm
I
not
can't
driving, I can definitely
I
do that
can't
for you.
find it on the App Store in Australia. I don't know why. I don't know. Ah,
Probably because
you
it's
know.
not on that market just yet,
Yeah,
or not. But
I've
when it
started using.
does, it'll be
Yeah.
great.
Oh yeah, I've started using an Instagram alternative called Vero, and Madonna's on it.
Who?
Madonna, she's on Vero, so that's what I'm using. Another Instagram alternative.
Really?
Yeah, so
Nice.
I'm checking out other things too. I'm still on Webtalk. I love Webtalk as well. But no, I was reading in the New York Post yesterday that why is Elon Musk getting all this negative press from the media?
Oh, it's because there was a documentary that just came out about how his how um how Tesla has resulted in about 3 or so deaths because Elon keeps promising that full self-driving will be available, but people have died at the hands of full self-driving. So it kind of contradicts the promises that he makes to his investors. So there's a probe going
Mm.
into the legitimacy of him promising that. In addition to the fact, well, yeah, and that was a pretty compelling documentary. I watched the full thing. You should watch it. It's by the New York Times. You'll get an understanding for why there's been so much negative press about Elon Musk. In addition to that, also he's been getting negative press because there has been a probe going into sexual harassment charge, and he paid off one of his subordinates half a $250,000 for a sexual misconduct charge that he had against him. So, yeah, a little Me Too-ish going on.
Shit.
So yeah, he's
Oh
under
my
a lot of
god.
political scrutiny right now, but it's still not stopping him because this dude's still making random posts online, which to me is very fascinating.
Well, look, I hope he succeeds and buys Twitter out because it seems to me, uh, I mean, here too, we just had a new Prime Minister, the Anthony Albanese, the left, has taken over. And we all thought that he was going to lose because he stuffed up on the first week of his campaign. So it seems to me that, you know, I want Elon Musk to be able to succeed and create change as well for Twitter and to, you know, create avenues for us conservatives to get heard. But yeah, I'll definitely, if you can send me that documentary, I will have a look at it. I don't know why the Twitter CEO is just playing the delaying game. You know, Elon Musk has offered this huge amount of money
We'll
as
honestly have to
well.
see how this all plays out, though, Steve.
Yeah,
But I will definitely make sure that I send you the documentary.
yeah, definitely do that because I'd like to check it out. You know that, Malcolm. I really would like to check out the documentary. It's yeah, it'll be interesting. Truth Social. Uh, if you've had a good experience, you know, let me know about Truth Social, Donald Trump's Truth Social. If I could get on that platform too for a Twitter alternative, you know. But yeah, I don't know why social media is getting harder for free speech, so have to divert
That's
to
because
other
people are
platforms.
so sensitive right now. Everyone's mostly Democrats. It's mostly the
Yeah.
Democrats that's perpetrating this. Democrats are so sensitive right now. They're like, "Oh my God, we want to monitor speech. We want to monitor hate crimes online and cyberbullying and all that stuff." So they're trying to basically control how
Mm.
speech is dictated through media, and because
Mm-hmm.
Democrats feel like they're losing control, not to mention they're losing they're literally losing in all the election polls and everything. So they're not even holding a majority in the Senate and the House, not even in certain states, and that's kind of a huge L for the Democrats right now. So they're kind of losing all around. But the
Mm-hmm.
biggest thing they don't want to lose on is the campaigns that they influence, like the Black Lives Matter campaign, the LGBT
Mm.
campaign. I got to be specific when I'm careful when I'm talking about here because Dio's lovely team is listening to one of these talks right now, so they can easily shut off this talk, and yet they do it. So I know
Mm.
they're listening, so I got to be careful with that. But long story short,
Mm.
it's just unfortunate how certain political parties love to have influence over media. So you can't talk about stuff. Not so cool.
You sound like you're very far in the distance, Malcolm.
Do I sound far?
Yeah.
Okay. How about now? Huh?
You sound like you're very far.
Okay. How do I sound now?
That's that's better.
Great. Okay. I unplugged you from my Bluetooth, so there's that.
No, but that's it. I mean, do you read the New York Post?
Oh, I read various news sources. I
You know,
can't
New
trust just one. I can't trust just one source. I have to read from various places because there's conservative platforms and there's non-conservative platforms. You know how non-conservative platforms will try to misconstrue information because they want their voice. They want to cater their media in a sense that caters towards people that are overtly sensitive
yeah.
versus conservative outlets that are like, here's the facts. You know.
Well, that's it. That's like I was telling you about Rumble. That will go public soon. I really like Rumble. Not very happy with YouTube. I hope
Oh yeah, YouTube is
Elon
getting
Musk.
really bad about it.
Yeah,
They're censoring everything.
Elon Musk could buy YouTube out if he wanted to.
He could buy literally every media company out there and still have enough money to take care of himself.
That's what I think he should do.
I don't think it would be a sound financial decision, but if he really wanted to resolve the misinformation being put out there or the uninformed information, I think that would be a good first step.
Mm.
So,
Did you hear about? There's this monkey pox going around.
yeah, monkeypox, COVID 2.0.
Yeah, monkeypox. I was reading it in Australia. There's a vaccine. They use the smallpox vaccine for monkeypox.
Yeah, it's just fascinating how when the world doesn't feel well. I gotta be careful once again. It's just fascinating how when you have so much going on, so much chaos going on in the world, that some people want to establish control. And what way to scare more people than to talk about something that's coming straight out of Europe? And apparently, there's already several cases in the U.S. So it's
Mm.
just fascinating how when the powers that be it, feel like they're not in control. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any capacity, so anyone that's taking or casting any judgment in your minds right now, I do not want you to have that kind of preconceived notion about me. But I will say, I think there's a lot of inconsistencies with the information being put out there, which is why I have these broad notions. And I
Mm.
talk to a lot of people that are conspiracy theorists. And if I'm being frank with you, some of the people that I've talked to have information to refute what they're talking about, which makes me doubt
Mm-hmm.
and have a lot of skepticism about our lovely, lovely, well-formed government. And I'm using air quotes if you can't see.
Well, that's like I said before. We've got a left-wing government now in Australia,
Oh, okay, that's gonna be interesting.
and we all thought Anthony Albanese was going to lose. And I'm like, how the hell did he win the election? What happened?
You know, a lot of people ask the same question when Trump didn't win the election. I think there's just, something going on that we are not aware of. I'm not making any
Yeah,
assumptions, but I will say
election fraud.
it could be something. It could be anything.
Well, there's a
It could be
documentary
the
on.
redistrict. This is what politicians call it. They don't call it election fraud. They call it redistricting of votes. They call it
Mm,
gerrymandering.
mhm.
We're not committing fraud. We're just making sure the votes, are accurate, but accurate in our
Yeah.
way.
Well, there's a documentary on Rumble about I think the election fraud in 2020 with Donald
Oh,
Trump
really?
or something. It'd be interesting to check it out. But yeah, that's definitely going on, but they deny it
Of course. It's
as
easier
well.
to deny something to accept the truth because once you start to accept the truth, that means that you have to open the door to talk about a lot of the inconsistencies that's been happening in the world. So
Oh, for sure.
it's easier to say we're not doing it, we're not the monsters, you're the monsters, than to admit to the fact that they're the ones perpetrating this kind of chaos onto the world.
Yeah, I mean there is a lot of chaos in the world at the moment, you know. But I like to like I said, the New York Post is good. I'll have a read through that
Oh
when I've
yeah, I
got a bit
can.
of
Well,
time.
if you have a Hulu, I would definitely encourage you to look on there because you'll be able to find the New York Times documentary regarding Elon Musk. Fox is going to, of course, charge you to watch it, but if you have Hulu already, then you can watch it from there free of charge. Well, not free of
Yeah.
charge, paying for Hulu, but so
Yeah, send
yeah.
me Truth Social when you've finished driving and that documentary. That'll be really good to check out as well, you know. But again, that's what it is. It's all about censorship right now,
Yeah, but that is all the
you
time that
know.
I see.
Censorship. Yeah, you
Excuse
there?
me. I am. I'm definitely picking up what you're putting down.
Hmm.
I was just saying I was wrapping things up here. But I'll definitely make sure that I send you the information that you're looking for.
Yeah, that'll be good. And what have you got on for your
What in the world is
afternoon
these people doing
where
putting
you are?
sports brakes on a 2007 Nissan Altima? I mean, that's a waste of money if you ask me. Those sports brakes cost
Yeah.
more than a car's monthly payment. Sorry, I just had to point that out. What was your question again?
Shit. What are you doing for your afternoon?
Oh, hey, since I'm a day trader and I have absolutely literally nothing to do with my life, I'm doing this thing called DoorDash. It's actually kind of funky. I enjoy it. I'm getting a lot of exposure and going around the like
Well, that's it. DoorDash. Interesting. That's very interesting. You know. But yeah, it's. I wonder what it's like in
state and
the
stuff. And I've been
stock
in
market at the
Oceanside. I've been
moment.
all. Do you want to put some? Oh, it's extremely volatile. The U.S. stock market is terrible. I mean, bank stocks are failing. Then on top of that, tech index just is terrible. Like Snapchat dropped 41%
Hmm.
today on the market, which is what inevitably caused the Nasdaq to drop at least 2%. Like that's terrible. Like markets are doing pretty bearish if you ask me.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Netflix has lost. God, how many customers has Netflix lost? I've been noticing.
Well, despite them
Uh,
losing customers, they're not really concerned about losing their customers because, to be honest, they're a multi-billion-dollar company. They don't really care. They're just trying to conserve as much as they can, but they've missed earnings estimates for sure. So they're not making as much money as they once used to. And the way that they're trying to
mm,
curb that is by limiting the amount of access that people get on one account because it's very easy for somebody to Netflix hop. Like if you make a
mm,
Netflix account, only three other people, if that, will have access to Netflix.
mhm,
That is unless I make my own separate account. So what they're trying to do is create solidarity, so that way there's not as much vulnerability that
mm,
to take advantage of that. So they're gathering the fact that during the pandemic, when people lost jobs, the one statistic that did go up is that people were more susceptible to using other people's Netflix accounts as opposed to their
mm,
own as a way to conserve and save money. And it wasn't just Netflix; it was several other platforms as well, Hulu, Amazon Prime, you name it. And they kind of did that to themselves, though, if you ask me, because why would
mm.
you allow up to 5 users on one account if you know that people will more than likely gain access to the account and use that to their advantage?
Yeah, well, that's the problem. And Jeff Bezos, he lost like what $3 billion or something like that. A bad investment for Amazon.
Aw, boo hoo. Poor Jeff Bezos lost $3 billion. Wham, wham, wham.
That's what he's whinging, complaining about. But he owns the Chicago Tribune, apparently.
Does he?
Yeah, bugger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's bringing in more than he needs. If I,
Yeah, I mean, that's what's happened with Amazon as well. They've lost money and customers.
Here's the thing. It's not just tech that's underperforming. I mean, despite it being big tech, because big tech right now is what basically weighs the indexes. That's what moves the markets. A lot of people don't understand. Big tech has been moving the markets for about a decade now at this point. And when you have big tech that's starting to underperform, especially when you have a pandemic, despite the tremendous growth in smaller businesses during the pandemic, and for platforms like Zoom, you name it. Yeah, Zoom did good during the pandemic. A few other media platforms did good during the pandemic. A lot that caused for a lot of smaller businesses to transition to online, but that still did well for the pandemic. But tech is just not as it's not as valuable as it once used to be, because there's first and foremost a lack of, I would say, um, competition, and there's a lack of liquidity in the market because of these huge market valuations. These stocks cost ridiculous amounts of money, and when you have an average consumer that can't afford to buy these prices, more specifically retail investors, it's going to start to look unattractive. Why would I buy a Tesla stock worth $800 a share when I can buy Apple for $133 a share? And even that for some people is still too much. But that's why stocks or platforms like Google are doing what's called a stock split, which in this case will make their shares a little more cheaper. And they plan on doing that sometime, actually, I believe this July. And that's kind of going to be the approach for a lot of tech stocks,
Well,
inevitably.
it's all supply and demand as
Well, that
well.
too.
You know,
Well, that
pharmaceutical stocks go up and down all the time.
Well, there's also supply constraints in addition to a lack of labor in the labor force. And when you have inflation outpacing wage growth and labor growth, that kind of should tell you something. Potentially stagflation. An economist, if they were listening, if you're an economist and you're listening right now, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say stagflation. Okay, it's a it's a word used in macroeconomics when there's an unequal like there's not enough labor growth, and the labor market is stalling, in addition to stagnant growth in an economy when you have um, so many variables like inflation as well dealing with it, in addition to real estate not performing the way that it should be. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. So yeah, you're right, there's lack of supply, and there's a
Well, do
big
you
energy
think?
shortage too. Isn't that something?
Oh, oh God, it's like we're living back in World War II, Malcolm.
Yeah, and economists or well, politicians are going to blame it on Russia and Ukraine, but this kind of problem was going to happen regardless of that. This just the Russia-Ukraine war exacerbated that, if anything.
I think there's going to be a World War III, but that's my opinion.
Oh, jumping the gun, I see, huh?
Yeah, but I think it could be with a virus.
Oh, so a virus wipes out every citizen of the U.S. and the foreign entities. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because like I said, why is this monkeypox all of a sudden appearing, and we've got COVID-19? You know, what's next? I don't. I'm just fed up.
They want you to be confused. Just remember that, Stephen.
Yeah. Joe Biden's admitted that monkeypox would not be a pandemic. I don't know.
Wait, he just admitted that monkeypox will not be a pandemic?
Yeah, from the New York Post.
Well, we're gonna see how this all plays out. We're honestly gonna have to see. No one can really say
Exactly.
whether it will or won't be, because
Mm,
everything like the Russia-Ukraine war, as they downplayed it when it first. Well, they didn't downplay it, but they downplayed the pandemic when it first broke out, and they're downplaying this
mm,
as well. So hindsight tells me that it truly depends on how this administration chooses to handle this and tackle this. Whether they say, "Hey, we want you guys to get vaccinated against monkeypox," or
mm,
you know, or you guys, we shut down American production, and we shut down factories like in Shanghai, China, that caused, and that's another thing. The disruption of production in countries is what's also causing a lack of
mm,
supply.
mm,
So there's just too many disruptions that's happening at the same time, and they don't know how to grapple with the ramifications of shutting things down and businesses not being as profitable as they once used to be. Like Stephen, this show right now would be a lot longer, and there's too much to cover on what's going on right now, and I feel like it, there's too much going on. It's like,
mm.
my mind is like going in overdrive. Just every time I look at that market, I'm like, well, this is what we get for being irresponsible, right?
Well, that's it. I mean, Vladimir Putin, no one took Vladimir Putin seriously for years. And one day it's called inferior complex, and he just said, he just snaps and just, yeah, now we got a
Well, he
war
didn't
in
just snap
Ukraine.
this quote unquote military operation. I actually just watched. I read an article about this. Apparently, there was a Russian officer that resigned from the military because
Mm,
Putin didn't tell his soldiers that they were invading Ukraine, and instead he said that it was a quote unquote military operation. But he had planned this out from what I read and what I listened to. And I don't know how
mm,
true this is
mm,
because once again, you can't trust everything that you see on TV, folks. Okay, you have to have the
mm-hmm,
ability of discernment. Apparently, from what I've read and listened to, this operation was a coordinated attempt and a coordinated plan. So I am only going to assume that this is something that he was considering for quite some time. And I also read another book, and it said that his ideology behind why he wanted to invade Ukraine was inspired by some guy that once used to serve with him when he was a KGB agent. So
mm-hmm.
yeah, there's a lot going on. There's quite a lot going on with him.
Oh, definitely.
People think his
You
mental
know,
state's not where it should be as well too. So you have that.
well, he doesn't just want Ukraine, he'll try and take the whole of Europe. That's what he will do.
That's if we let him.
There's talks about Poland being invaded next from Putin.
Well, if he invades
You
Poland, then
know,
that's going to create more friction. And if we interfere with that, then we're asking for trouble. Then.
yeah, and it's very scary
Yeah, it's
that
definitely a
this is
scary
happening.
thought, but
At the
as long as we
moment.
don't become involved, if we don't put any military involvement, then I don't think there's nothing to be too concerned about. And right now, at least as far as I'm concerned, there isn't any military talk on the table right now. All these countries right now are doing is they're just issuing sanctions. They're saying, okay, fine, we're going to idle out so much, we're going to take so much away from you economically, and we're going to make sure that your economy collapses. Like, so many businesses have already chosen to leave Russia
Oh
because of
yeah.
what Putin did. Like central banks have decided to not to operate in the Russia. Businesses like McDonald's, fast food chains have decided not to operate in Russia. So many things. They're losing so much. It's going to be really interesting what the byproduct of this is. And for all we know, Putin at this point could say, "Screw it," and because he's lost so much and his economy is collapsing, he could just decide to go all nuclear. I mean, I hate to put that thought in people's minds, but when you lose so much, that's like saying,
Mm,
I have nothing else to lose. So when it gets to the point in which he feels he has nothing else to lose, he could just say screw it and go full force with weapons of mass destruction.
oh yeah. Well, let's hope that does not happen. Um,
Yeah, let's hope. We're going to hope for the best. Let's be optimistic. That's all I can say, folks. But
you
that is
know.
my time, Stephen. We definitely will have another controversial conversation pretty soon. So I appreciate the time that you have yielded me today, and I hope you take care, man. All right?
You too, man. Take care.
Peace out.
Bye. Yeah, that was an awesome conversation with Malcolm. Always love having Malcolm on the Stephen Shields radio show, and I've enjoyed being on his show on wisdom, because that's what I like about wisdom. At the same time, I mean, yeah, it is a hard time at the moment, economically, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically for people. Especially with this mental health crisis we have going on. It's not just the pandemic that's made it hard for people. It's mental health problems have become, hard in life, especially for me. I've struggled with mental health problems. As you know, I've got autism, mild depression, anxiety, so I have a disability, and it has been hard. But, challenging times. It's a resemblance of the Great Depression in the 1930s, I guess. So what I do to keep myself going, keep my mind active is, listening to my affirmations, daily affirmations as well is very important. You know, having a spiritual power and a destiny in my life and not relying on the stock market. I feel that, if you rely on the stock market, well, it is gambling if you don't know what you're doing at the same time. You know that. But, I love doing the Stephen Shields radio show on wisdom, and I hope Elon Musk will be able to set the deal with Twitter and buy Twitter out. I'd like to thank all my listeners for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe to the Stephen Shields radio show and turn on notifications wherever you get your podcasts. New podcasts are available every Friday at 6 p.m. Sydney time, Sydney, Australia time. I hope Truth Social could come out in Australia. I'll be happy to be on it. Unfortunately, I've had to let go of Mastodon. Mastodon's pissed me off, and so that is not the platform for me. So that'll be an X. I'm on a new Instagram alternative called Vero, which it looks pretty good. I like it, so I'll give that a go. Well, you can find me on Webtalk. I've got music on Spotify as well. The podcast is on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast. I wish everyone the best. Bye for now.